I picked this broken chair up off the curb. I kind of like this design of chair. It's a bit like an Ames DSW chair, but this one's from IKEA. And luckily this bit that fell off was also with the chair, but on closer examination there is other problems. It's split here as well, so perhaps this wood is altogether too splintery. But looking at this, I don't know, this doesn't fit at all. So that was a bit puzzling until I noticed that this has a slight curve to it here and here. And I realized this part here was meant to be up against the chair. They put this on upside down, and that's why this bevel is all wrong, and that probably led to the chair failing. So the wood being too splintery is not what killed this chair. Let's just start by taking the whole thing apart because clearly it was put together wrong. This screw is so bent, it's hard to make it turn. So I found this in a student neighborhood, and given how it was put together, it was clearly not engineering students. I was thinking arts, but looking at these bolts, now I'm thinking athletics. So they even put an extra screw on this side here to make sure you didn't put it on sideways or anything. But you gotta be kind of a knucklehead to put this on here upside down. Although it is kind of tricky to get on here. And now it just matches those contours perfectly. So this leg is also split, but not completely. Let's see if I can get that insert out. There, now I just need to get glue in. Here's the bolts. They're metric ones, which are hard to get here. And there's no IKEA around here to just get new ones, so I'm going to try to straighten these. That didn't work at all. So I tried various methods with various blocks of wood to try to straighten that tight bend on the end, but I just couldn't do it. It's just too strong a bend to bend with soft pieces of wood. Just not doing it. And once again I got an S-bend on here. Whoops. But these thinner screws have got a much more gentle bend to them and no thread where the bend is, so I think I might be able to fix those ones. That's pretty straight. Well, I can't bend these straight enough for the threads to work on these anymore, but I found these two screws in my screws bin, which are basically the same kind of thread, probably from some other piece of knockdown furniture. So I'll just use those instead of those. Huh, looks like I won't even need to cut these bolts off to fit. After bolting on the legs, I noticed this bevel had not lined up with this surface here, and then I noticed this one's got one hole, this one's got two, and these have no other purpose than to mark things. And then similar holes, two here and one here, so I moved them around to go with these, and that seems to match up much better. Now I have to get this insert back into the glued together leg, and for that I'm just using one of my bolts. This is actually one of the bad bolts. I cut off the bent part, and the nut on here, I'm going to try and force that back in the hole, which seems to turn rather easily. Well, on this leg I now realize there's a chunk missing here, which is not good for holding this threaded insert in there, so I'll have to glue some extra bits on there. So I still have a big gap right here, but these splines will bridge that gap nicely, and hold it together much better than the piece of wood that was in here before. Now this cross has got a couple of dowel pins that match these holes here, not here. I guess that's also to make sure it's put in the right way. I'm gonna bend this a little bit to make it fit. Now that I got all the pieces together, I can tighten up all the screws. Uh-oh, what happened there? Let's just film that again. Not as comfortable as I thought it would be. I guess it's made for a bigger butt than mine. And that mystery pop, I think I figured it out when I put this together. I had the legs not all the way up in here because there's some slack with those screws, so I put it together like that again. And now if I just give it a bang, that slides down, and that happened when I plumped myself down in it.